Ferrari aren't traveling to the Miami Grand Prix, simply hopping to narrow the gap on Mercedes. They're showing up armed with a comprehensive upgrade package engineered to seize the upper hand. The opening 3 rounds of the 2026 Formula One season have already painted a pretty definitive picture of the pecking order. Mercedes sit atop the standings, largely thanks to their standout advantage in one vital department: the power unit. That engine has been delivering blistering straight-line speed, which has allowed them to dictate the pace in race after race so far. Yet Ferrari aren't trailing by some insurmountable margin. The SF26 has delivered some of the grid's most impressive cornering capabilities, proving consistently strong and well-balanced across a wide range of race conditions. The real headache emerges on those long, demanding straights, where Ferrari suddenly hemorrhages time compared to Mercedes and any other squad running the same power unit. The Scuderia spotted that vulnerability right from the early races and wasted no time capitalizing on the unusually long mid-season break before Miami. Rather than rolling out modest tweaks one at a time, Ferrari have fast-tracked a far more ambitious update bundle aimed squarely at the car's weakest spots. The package features a completely reworked floor to boost aerodynamic efficiency, fresh software for smarter power unit energy management that squeezes every last drop of performance from the hybrid system, and an innovative active rear wing design that promises to slash drag and unlock serious straight-line gains. To put these components through their paces, Ferrari even ran dedicated test elements at Monza, a track that mercilessly highlights any shortcomings in energy deployment and outright top speed. If the simulator data and on-track feedback hold true, the team could roll into Miami with a markedly sharper machine than the one we watched battle through the first trio of Grand Prix. So the burning question is straightforward. Will this substantial upgrade step be enough to transform Ferrari from the nearest pursuer into genuine title contenders capable of toppling Mercedes? In this breakdown, we're going to dissect every detail of the upgrades Ferrari are unleashing in Miami and assess whether this could represent their single biggest leap forward all season. If you love this kind of deep dive Formula One insight, hit that subscribe button and let's dive straight in. The story behind Ferrari's accelerated development push this year is actually pretty remarkable. The calendar got thrown into chaos early on when both the Bahrain and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix were scrapped amid the ongoing tensions in the Middle East. That left an unusually generous 5-week window between the Japanese Grand Prix and Miami, an absolute luxury in today's tightly packed F1 schedule. Teams suddenly had breathing room to pause, dig deep into their data, pinpoint every shortcoming, and prepare more substantial upgrades without the usual frantic race-to-race scramble. For Ferrari, that unexpected gift completely reshaped their upgrade roadmap. The original plan had been to introduce smaller incremental parts across several events, carefully evaluating each one before committing to the next. But according to well-placed reports, the extended break prompted a bold shift. The bulk of the development work would now converge for a major reveal in Miami, provided the final validation runs confirmed everything was race-ready. Team principal Fred Vasseur dropped a strong hint that Miami might mark a turning point. Speaking after Japan, he suggested the championship landscape could look dramatically different once the next wave of upgrades lands, underscoring just how much weight the team is placing on this package. Ferrari's clearest shortfall through the opening races has been impossible to ignore. The SF26 is a joy in the twists and turns, delivering outstanding balance and grip, yet the moment the track straightens out, the advantage swings decisively toward the Mercedes-powered outfits. Both Mercedes and McLaren have shown a noticeable edge in top-end speed, and the Ferrari drivers haven't sugarcoated the issue. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc have praised the car's overall handling and stability, but they've also been vocal about the urgent need for better straight-line performance. Behind closed doors, the engineers have been working flat out to close that exact deficit. Italian media outlet Autoracer revealed that Ferrari used the break to stage a special filming day test at Monza, deliberately chosen because the Italian circuit is one of the most punishing tests of drag and power deployment on the entire calendar. Any aerodynamic inefficiency or energy management flaw shows up immediately there. The focus was laser-sharp. Measure exactly how the new upgrade elements improve top speed and efficiency under real-world conditions. At the heart of the package sits the revised floor, an absolutely critical component in this ground effect era. It's responsible for the lion's share of the car's downforce and dictates how cleanly air travels beneath the chassis. The updated design aims to generate even more aerodynamic load while simultaneously cutting drag, potentially allowing Ferrari to maintain their cornering prowess without paying the same heavy penalty on the straights. That single change alone could dramatically shrink the performance difference to Mercedes. Yet the real showstopper might be the new rear wing. which has already earned the cheeky internal nickname Macarena wing around the paddock. The concept uses an active aerodynamic system that lets the wing pivot and adjust its angle on demand when the driver triggers it. The goal is to reduce drag dramatically for a burst of extra straight-line speed. If it functions as planned, it could be worth as much as 0.3 of a second per lap on tracks where top speed is king. Ferrari actually gave the wing its first shakedown runs during practice at the Chinese Grand Prix, but Vasseur was quick to stress that more validation was still required. There are still things we need to validate, he noted, highlighting concerns around reliability and how the car would behave under heavy braking with a moving surface at the rear. Those worries are far from trivial. Any instability entering high-speed corners would shatter driver confidence instantly. That's precisely why the Monza test was so vital. It gave the team hard data before committing to a Miami debut or pushing the wing's introduction a little further down the line. Beyond the technical upgrades, another factor could tilt the scales in Ferrari's favor: the FIA's Performance-Based Additional Development and Upgrade Opportunities program. Every 5 to 6 races, the governing body reviews power unit performance levels and grants extra development tokens to manufacturers lagging behind. Should Ferrari's engine be deemed behind the curve, they could receive extra scope to close the gap on Mercedes and McLaren. Of course, the system works both ways. Slower units from Red Bull, Honda, and Audi projects might also get breathing room, potentially tightening the entire field even further. But Ferrari's preparations for Miami aren't confined to the car. There's potentially significant movement on the operational front involving Lewis Hamilton himself. F1 photographer and trusted insider Kim Illman recently let slip that the 7-time champion could be pairing up with a new race engineer in Miami. The man in question is Cedric Mitchell-Grosjean. Illman explained he'd actually caught wind of the change back in Australia, and had even spoken with Grosjean about it on the Saturday of that weekend. When he casually mentioned to a Ferrari crew member that Grosjean was stepping up to work alongside Hamilton, he was politely asked to keep quiet for the time being. Grosjean brings serious pedigree. He previously served as lead trackside performance engineer at McLaren, and worked directly as Oscar Piastri's performance engineer. That insider knowledge of how a Mercedes-powered rival maximizes straight-line speed could prove invaluable as Ferrari hunts for every last edge. Hamilton's working relationships with race engineers have been under the microscope in recent seasons. Last year saw several heated radio moments with Riccardo Adami, who ultimately stepped aside before the 2026 season. Carlo Santi stepped in temporarily, but it was widely expected that the structure might continue to evolve as Hamilton found his feet in the Ferrari environment. If Grosjean officially takes the role, it could represent another layer of refinement around the team's star driver. And timing could hardly be better. If the aerodynamic upgrades genuinely deliver the hoped-for performance jump, those small operational improvements, sharper strategy calls, clearer in-lap feedback, smarter energy deployment, could become the difference between winning and merely contending. Put it all together, and Ferrari's outlook heading into Miami suddenly looks far more exciting. Mercedes may still hold the edge in raw power, but the SF26 already excels where it matters most in the corners. Close the straight-line deficit through better aero efficiency and smarter energy management, and the gap between the two factories could shrink to almost nothing. That's why the Miami Grand Prix has the potential to be one of the most pivotal weekends of the entire 2026 campaign. If Ferrari's upgrades land as planned, the whole narrative of the championship could flip on its head. Instead of debating whether Ferrari can stay in touch with Mercedes, we might soon be asking whether Mercedes can react fast enough to protect their early advantage. So here's the big one. If this Miami package really unlocks the gains Ferrari are targeting, could this be the moment the balance of power in Formula One finally tilts? And do you genuinely believe the Scuderia has everything it takes to overhaul Mercedes and challenge for the title this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm genuinely keen to hear where you stand.